Hello, YouTube. It's Tuesday. No, it's oh man. Hi, welcome to my special education class. I'm not only a teacher, I'm a student. No, it is Monday. Yeah, it's Monday, September 30th. Hello BMW, 2021, 3:02 p.m. So I just finished up at the Traw. I had a great conversation with the bartender. I should have caught her name. She's flipping gorgeous. I had a great conversation with the bartender. Before that, I actually had a pretty good conversation with the owner. Yeah, I always feel, I guess I just let myself get a little too nervous and awkward when I met with him last time. I just noticed there's a little street right there. That was interesting. I kind of want to double back to that just to see it. It's one of those really bizarre, why is this a street here kind of street, and I love stuff like that. And I got time. Anyway, yeah, you know, I'm thinking like the main reason that I didn't really have a good conversation with him last time is he was clearly like into what he was doing. Like he was playing a video game with friends, and he was definitely, you know, involved with what he was doing with his friends. And I felt like this street does not go anywhere. I felt like I was interrupting that, and I wonder what this house is selling for. probably like $250,000. Oh, all right. The property is ridiculous in Phoenix area right now. All right. I don't think I have time to get back to that street because it's not going to be easy to get back to that street. I really want to, though. That funny street that went off to the right, like, looked like an alley, but it had a street sign. But it doesn't look like it connects to anything here. It looks like it's one of those really weird, poor city planning anomaly kind of streets. And I love stuff like that. Sorry, I'm talking about three subjects at once, and it probably seems a little schizophrenic. My name is Dan. I'm a little schizophrenic. Trying to focus on telling you all about what happened at the Traw. So, hang up, traffic report.
Surface roads. Greenway and 29th Avenue, you've got a collision there. Also, University, right around I-10, you're going to find a crash. And watch for crash activity still in Tempe. Center Parkway at Washington. This report sponsored by Day and Night AC,
not my problem today.
Day and Night air conditioning, heating, and plumbing. Your go-to for plumbing.
That's a landlord's problem. Anyway, so yeah, when I was there the last time I tried to talk to the owner, he was really into hanging out with his friends and really into his game. You know, he was playing a video game. So I sat there patiently waiting for him to finish playing his video game, just because I myself, when I'm in a game, I really don't want to be interrupted by somebody I don't know. You know, so I'm kind of sitting to see him. And when I saw his game was over, was when I went over and kind of tried to introduce myself and stuff, which went awkwardly, and I just felt like he like really dismissed me. And maybe it's just because of how awkward I was with that. And this time around, like, he was obviously there engrossed in the conversation with a couple of his friends. And I just basically, like, hey, I drove all the way out here. Damn it, I need to talk to this guy. So I kind of forced myself to, hey, excuse me, pardon me, but I heard from blah, 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 that you're possibly looking for karaoke. That's what I do. I'm looking for some more shows, and I felt that nervousness of like that awkwardness kind of rising within me, and I managed to. I could tell by my intonations. Like I was very cognizant of my intonations, that I definitely was giving the intonations of, not with the words I was saying, but my intonations of the words of nervous, awkward, weird. I could hear it. And I'm just like, and then the voice in my head is like, that's what you're doing wrong, fix it. And somehow, instead of getting more nervous and weird because of that, I did manage to fix it. And got my confidence back, like by my second sentence and managed to have a really good conversation with him. And I also managed to catch the social cue that he gave that indicated, yeah, we've talked all that we need to talk, have a good day, because he didn't say that. The autistic in me sometimes needs that. And managed to just like pick up my phone and my beer and move on and let him get back to his conversation with his friends, as opposed to being there too long and making a bad impression that way. I feel like I did everything right this time for the most part. But the really weird, unexpected thing, I didn't expect I would do this. I didn't expect he would do this. But we were talking about, I love listening to this show, but yeah, I don't need any more chatter. And it's anybody who's looking at the closed captioning, it's probably crazy. I've looked at this closed captioning of some of my vlogs and I have KTAR in the background. It deciphers what's on the radio along with me, and it just looks like gibberish on the screen. So, oh, and I got another person talking. Shut up! I'm going back to Archie O'Sullivan's again. Let's see if I can do it this time without missing my exit. Because I remember the last time I went from the trough to Archie O'Sullivan's, I drove in the wrong direction but mostly I was just really flustered by how bad my meeting with Troy went. And I feel like my meeting with Troy went really, really good. So anyway, we're talking about karaoke, and I honestly think if I had, I told him that, I basically told him, hey, I've done this a long time and I'm really good at this. And my friend, and I, name dropped Troy, I name dropped Trey, which I feel at this point I should have been doing. I mean, I think Trey's kind of encouraged me to do that. So I name dropped Trey. And I figure, like, if he knows Trey and he respects Trey, like, Trey's gonna sell me better than I'll sell myself, to be honest. I really believe he would. Yeah, I think I think if I was available on Thursdays, he'd have probably hired me on the spot for it. Basically, I was, trying to just kind of tell him on, yeah, I'm really good at this, and I've been doing this a long time, and for the last decade, I haven't had any availability. I haven't been doing sales calls because I've been booked solid for 6 nights a week. But everything went shitty because of government imposed government interference with our business. And I seem to strike a chord with him on that. I'm like, yeah, government fucked my business too. And oh, I love this song. I'm getting distracted by music again. I want a button that plays a sample of this when I'm on my dashboard. Move, bitch! Get out the way. Oh, this is my jam. It's hard to think with this song on. Oh, love Ludacris. Anyway, where was I? Yeah, so I seem to have kind of struck a chord with him on that, And okay, there's where I messed up last time. I do not want to go to Globe. First exit seems like it should be going to the right, because it goes to the right. That's what my mental logic is, but I know I need to be in this one going to Phoenix. I would engineer this exit different, and someday I will make a fabulous video with diagrams about that. Anyway, I'm doing it right this time, and that was the mistake I made last time. I don't drive this area very often. Anyway, even as a cab driver, I didn't drive this area very often. At least not when any of this existed. God, so many different things bouncing around in my head right now. It's hard to focus and talk. Yeah, so I struck a chord with him when I mentioned, the whole, I was doing great for the government and shut my business down. And it's like, I said, because he basically came at me with, we're not ready to do it yet, but, we've done karaoke in the past, probably looking to do it, but not yet. And I kind of wanted to just basically instill a sense of, well, you better get me before I'm not available again. So that's why I came out. I'm like, I've done this a long time, generally booked solid. I said, right now I'm only booked 3 nights a week, so I've got some availability. I thought I'd, offer, let you could actually get me now. So he asked, well, what nights are you available? I said, well, and that's when I which seemed pretty much like he wouldn't ask that if he wasn't interested. And I was like, well, so right now I'm only working 2 Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, the rest of my week is open. And I saw the look of, I'm kind of interested in you, quickly switch to, well, shit. And he's like, oh, he goes, man, I was actually kind of hoping for Thursday. I'm like, yeah, Thursday's actually the longest. I got that show shortly after the second shutdown ended, and that show's pretty solid. And he's like, oh, and I'm not at all interested in walking out of Bullocks. In fact, as nervous as I was about Bullocks, because I as I mentioned in my vlog a couple weeks ago, maybe 2-3 weeks ago, the owner very upset at me. He actually called me. The owner called me just for some help on some AV stuff, and unfortunately, I wasn't able to help him much with it. But he realized why, and was completely cool with it. But I love the fact that he thinks highly enough of me to have called me about it. And this was on Saturday afternoon. So yeah, things are good there. I feel solid there. In fact, I honestly feel like if sorry, I'm thinking crazy thoughts, but I think if there was more, if there was a reason to give me more nights, they would give me more nights there without even questioning. It's but it's just not there. So anyway, at any rate, that's when the conversation started to Thursdays. I'm like, yeah, I don't see Thursdays being an available thing. And it's like, oh, he goes, well, then we started talking about I said, well, what's going on with the rest of your days of the week? And he's like, well, I wouldn't really want to do a Monday. And okay, that's fair. Monday's a difficult night to make happen. Best Monday I've ever had definitely was Gilligan's. My Gilligan's Mondays used to be insane. In fact, when I started, for as long as that gig ran at Gilligan's, when it started, it was supposed to be a Monday-only show. It started as a Monday gig, and my Mondays blew up from square one. And I have had I honestly haven't had a lot of, now that I'm thinking about it, I haven't had a lot of other shows on Mondays, because Monday was my Gilligan's night forever. But I feel like I've had other good Mondays before. It is possible to make good money, but it is a hard sell, and I get him being leery to, I don't want to spend a bunch of money on a Monday, because Mondays are, I'm sure his mentality in that is yeah, I'm doing good to pay my staff on a Monday without having an additional contractor I owe money to. I get it. Not a problem. I'm not trying to hard sell a Monday unless I honestly feel it's something that's going to be good for that location. And I don't know enough about this part of town on Monday to say, yeah, it's, it'd be one thing if I had a really good following going on my Wednesday show over at, that's getting ready to happen over at the Union Jack East Mesa, which doesn't exist yet, but it's going to, and it's going to be karaoke Wednesdays there. I hope. Knock on plastic. If that was happening already, and I already had a good crowd there, and I talked to people and I'm like, oh hell yeah, we go out to the Trough on Monday, that'd be great. If I really had that, I would try to sell it. Or let's do an interesting rewind. In the parking lot I'm in right now, directly behind me, where there's now a bank of some kind. Before that bank building was built, it's clearly not the same building. Before that bank building was built, there used to be a TGI Fridays on that location, at the corner of Superstition Springs Parkway and Power Road. There used to be a TGI Fridays, and I used to do Tuesdays there, and that is the most banging Tuesday show I've ever had. In fact, when I was doing Tuesdays there, that was my busiest karaoke night of the entire week. I had shows on the weekend that I was getting a good crowd at. I had shows, in fact, I think I was doing Gilligan's on Mondays at the time. I had a good crowd on Mondays. But my Tuesdays at TGI Fridays were let's cross our fingers and hope the fire marshal doesn't show up busy. It was insane. And if I was doing that show on Tuesdays, you bet I would have been trying to hard sell Mondays at the Trough. If I still had that show and saw that crowd, because I would know beyond a doubt that at a bar that close away, that I could get a portion of my Tuesday people, which were all service industry people that worked on the weekend but were off on Monday and Tuesday because that's their down night, would show up. But I don't have that now, and I'm not trying to sell a following that doesn't exist. In fact, I've never really been much for selling my show on a following. Although I guess I did try to do that a little bit. I did tell them that I do have a lot of people that have been coming to my shows regularly that are really want me to get a weekend show. I threw that out. And then we started talking about weekends. And he was like, well, I said, I know they do live bands, and we talked about that, and it's Johnny Cash tribute, what I heard about. So at least he knows I know something about his bar, And then he's like, the weekends, we have a DJ on the weekends. I'm like, well, hey, for what it's worth, if you ever find yourself in need of a DJ, I'm also a very decent and experienced DJ. And he's like, oh. And I saw him again light up like, oh, I need that. I said, the main thing I bring to the table that's different as a DJ is that I generally DJ with music videos. And then suddenly I piqued his interest again. He had to just kind of lit up again. And so I wasn't going in there to sell a music video DJ night, but God, I would love to do that. I would love to have a night I don't have to deal with impatient karaoke singers and karaoke singers getting bent out of shape at me because I can't find their karaoke for their one random Ariana Grande song when I have karaoke for like 50 other Ariana Grande songs, but you don't want to sing one of those. You want to sing this one song, the one apparently only song by Ariana Grande I can't get karaoke for, and then suddenly I'm a bad guy for that. Yeah, sometimes those things drive me nuts. So yeah, it would be nice to have a night where I can just bury myself in music and do my thing without having to deal with. I mean, shoot, I've had these conversations with staff over at Bullocks. They're like, yeah, well, you don't have as many people singing as Gary does. I said, yeah, but I've got a good crowd here. It's like, yeah. I'm like, if I can have a night where I'm just playing music videos and playing music and people are vibing on that music and not singing and the bar is busy, isn't that a win for everybody? And they had to admit, yeah, it is. So, yeah, I would love to have a night that's strictly a music video night. Wasn't planning on selling that at all, but I saw him light up, so I was interested in it. So I started talking about that and talking about how I do video distribution systems and blah, blah, blah. He's like, oh, well, you can give me a card. So what else? Whatever reason, didn't have cards in my pocket. Went outside with a card and kind of left on a good note of that. So he seems very interested in that. I hope I actually hear back from him. If I don't have a weekend karaoke night filled up in the next couple of weeks, I think I'll be back here talking to him about that. And in fact, actually, to be honest, maybe I'll just wait until I have Union Jack going. So I'm at a location close enough for him to come see what I do. Because to see it is a whole better experience than me just talking about it. Anyway, so that's what happened. I'm sitting in front of RT O'Sullivan's right now. Those who remember the vlog, last time I was out here trying to talk to the Trough about karaoke, I also came in here. I don't remember the manager's name. I don't remember what was the day that I shouldn't be coming here talking to him, but I'm in the area. What have I got to lose? I'm going in. Hopefully I come out with a gig. Wish me luck.